Well, hey guys, welcome back. Ray Henderson here. Guys, I just started getting my voice back a couple of days ago. I know I'm still not where I need to be. I hope you'll bear with me. My creativity is kind of took a little bit of a beat. I don't know what I had. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. It's been going on for about 3 weeks now. At this point, I'm on the backside of it and I have a really bad sinus infection, but that too is going to pass. Actually was able to go to church Sunday for the first time in the new year and wasn't able to stay for the whole service. It wiped me, you know. I was there for Bible class and through communion and offering, and then I had to leave. So anyway, onward and upward, and I hope today's card is a really cute thank you, get well card for you. I recently ordered a few items from Whimsy Stamps. Oh, I'm stuck to my mat down here. And this one is called the Panda Get Well. And there are dies that will cut out each of the different pandas. And I'm hoping there's not too much glare on here. There's a little bit, I'm sorry. But you have one who's on crutches and he has his arm in a sling. You've got this one that's hanging on a branch and the little sentiment is barely hanging on. Here's a little panda that's got a band-aid on his butt. You might need a Pand-Aid. Here's one that sending you bear hugs. And this is the image that we're going to be using today. He's kind of propped up on a pillow. You can tell he's not feeling good. He has a little Kleenex in his hand. And the sentiment we're going to use for that is dang pandemic. I thought this whole set was so cute. And not just get well, but hey, sending hugs in case they're going through an emotional hard time. So such a cute set. The other thing we're going to use is these Spellbinders cutting dies. They are the pierced and scored. So one layer will have the piercing, one will have the scoring, and on and on and on. So we're going to be using some of those today. Now, I did prep just a little bit, okay? Y'all know I love my Distress Oxides. So I took a piece of cardstock and I ink blended it with peacock feathers. And because the ink blending was pretty thick on there, I mean, it's solid, I did start out with white cardstock. And so I did this yesterday to make sure it was good and dry. One of the other colors I'm bringing in is the Abandoned Coral. And again, I wanted to make sure it was good and dry. So we have got those already done. Now there's going to be a third piece, a small piece. And for that one, I'm not going to totally ink blend a solid background, but we're bringing in Salvage Patina, which complements nicely with the peacock feathers. So we're just going to go ahead and get that done because I still need to do my background now. And so, yeah, it's almost going to be one of these things where I want a little bit of color all over it, but it's almost going to look like clouds. So we're just going to put this on here very quickly, and we'll be about ready to go on to the background. Now, what I don't have in my arsenal, I don't have like any kind of bamboo stamps or dies, not anything like that, you know, you would typically associate with little pandas. So I had to take a different approach and use what I had in my stash. So let me get my water bottle here, and let me get my cleaning rag ready, and let me get this ink off of here. There we go. I'm going to get this off. This is not the same towel y'all have seen me use time and time again. That one is well stained, and even though it's freshly laundered, do you see how colorful it is? That's okay. I had another one. It hadn't really been used very much yet. All right, I'm going to bring this just a little straighter. This is my grit map from Waffle Flower, 8.5 by 6.5, totally fills in a regular Misty. I'm going to bring in my cardstock. And by the way, I am using that wonderful thick accent opaque that I love so much. And this piece is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. I am bringing in an older stencil that I have from Rabbit Hole Designs. Now, it is called Amanda. There are only 2 left at the time I'm recording this on Thursday, January 23rd. And we're simply going to just kind of lay that over that piece of cardstock and press it down. And let me I'm bringing in Twisted Citron. And I'm not going to be particularly careful to just get a solid layer. I want enough filled in where you can obviously tell and see what the background is. I am having to be somewhat careful because of the nature of the stencil, and you have all these very fine lines, so I'm having to be careful. I have got some brushes on order from Altenew. I think it was Jennifer McGuire I saw using those, and they're made a little different. The properties are a little different, but they haven't got here yet. So I'm making do again with what I have in my stash, just like we all have to. And I think this is going to look really good. I was very careful in the colors that I picked out. I didn't want a somber get well card. Who wants to be sick and get something that's just kind of like, ugh. So we want something not glaringly buoyant, but with enough of the right colors to kind of help put a smile on their face, even though they may feel like death warmed over, as I have been. Oh my goodness, guys, I don't know what this stuff was. Let me tell you, it felt like the flu, but I never once ran any fever. And I was wishing after the first 4 or 5 days that I could run a fever and burn out whatever them little boogers were that were causing me to be sick. All right, I've got this, and the ink is not on here real heavy, so it won't take but a minute to totally dry. And I'm going to pull this up because I won't need this anymore. And we're going to get ready to die cut. Now, what I did is out of that stitched and scored from Spellbinders, I've laid the 3 that I'm going to use right here on my mat. Here's my little Panda die, and here is my Sentiment die. And we'll run those through here in just a minute. But I need to get my little Panda stamped so he can be die cut. And I need to get my Sentiment stamped. And although I have both of these lined up in my Misty, because down here is my Sentiment, if you can see that, on a separate piece of cardstock. I'm going to actually ink them up separately. And I am using my VersaFine. Now, you can watercolor when you use this ink, but you can't use alcohol markers. So, what I did, and I was so inspired by one of our videos in the vault, or it may have been one of her public videos on YouTube. Wendy Cranford recently got out her Prismacolors, and I thought, dang, I have got wonderful Prismacolor pencils, and I hardly ever use them anymore. So that's what we're going to use. And let me get my glasses on, make sure I'm pretty good here, and I'm pretty good. And I'm going to kind of hold that up. Do you see the stippling? Instead of it being a solid black. And that's just part of that whimsical look. Let me get my little cleaning towel over here. And I'll wipe that stamp off. And then I can go ahead and do the Sentiment real quick. And then basically, we're going to be die cutting. And assembling. I do have the card base made, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And this is a pigment ink, so you notice I was real careful picking that up to give that a second to dry. And now we're going to go down here to my sentiment. Let me raise this up so I'm in camera. But I just thought this set was adorable. I have been looking at Whimsy stamps for a while and just could not order from them as quickly as I wanted to. And I want to pick this up and show you how the font, again, with the Whimsy in mind. Isn't that cute? I just thought that was adorable. And looks like I already have ink on my fingers. Of course I do. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see if I can get it off to where I won't transfer it. I'm going to wipe that off. And I won't bore you with me actually cleaning them in depth. We'll just put that to the side. And you know I get to do that after the video. I ended up taking like some over-the-counter Sudafed because I have so much pressure from my sinus infection, and my eyes especially are really having a hard time. I mean, they hurt, they're painful. So, all right, let me make sure I am completely dry, and I do see a little bit. So just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and gently dry that. Also the sentiment. Boy, I really did have it on my finger, didn't I? But I'm hoping you'll enjoy this as it comes together with all the colors. Because honestly, as you're looking at this palette with the Twisted Citron, the peacock feathers, and the abandoned coral, you're thinking, eee. But I promise you it's going to be really cute. That should be good. Now I want to double check my sentiment where those thick letters are with a clean finger. But anytime I go out to run errands or anything, I'm not gone very long from the house because I can't be out too long. I just don't have any stamina yet. And I'm trying to push myself. A couple of days ago, I went through the house and all I did was dust and vacuum. I mean, my house needed it so bad. And that's all I did. And I was whooped. I was truly I was wiped the rest of the day. And I thought, man, this is some wicked stuff. But there's a lot of chest congestion, a lot of head congestion, a lot of coughing, and not all of the coughing is productive. So you almost are forced. I don't like taking over-the-counter stuff. I really don't, if I can avoid it. But man, guys, there's times you got to be able to get some sleep, right? Oh, and here was the other really weird thing about it. And my husband had had it the week before. Now, when he got it, he goes through this. I say this. It looked identical to what he's gone through in years past, every winter. And I mean, you can just look at his face and tell. You know, you can tell he's sick. His voice tells you he's sick. And so I didn't take precautions. I just figured, oh, okay, well, you know, he's got what he gets every year. No. Exactly a week to the day he came down with it, it started hitting me. But the really weird thing, we both wanted to eat. Oh my word, did we want to eat all the time. It was like we were constantly hungry. Now, I don't know about you guys, but normally when I'm not feeling good and something's got a hold of me, I don't have an appetite at all. But I mean, it was just, you're feeling bad. You don't have any energy. But, yeah, it was just something else. I'll put that back on my magnet right here so y'all can see what I'm doing. Haven't even run that little fella through. Did it shift? No, he's good. He's good. Fortunately, I can use my small machine. But even after taking the over-counter Sudafed a while ago to try to get a grip on the pressure and get some pain relief, I still ended up taking 2 Advil. I had to. My eyes, I'm really struggling. They're achy and just not feeling good. So, if I can get this off. There we go. That's what I wanted, was my dye. All right, I've got my dye back there. And there's our little panda. We'll get him colored. Now, I'm going to use my pick tool and get this largest die here. I'll line it up on my piece of peacock feathers. And as long as, I don't think I'll need to tape this. Famous last words though, right? I don't think I will. I think that'll go through okay. Yeah, we're going to make it. It's going to kind of squish the edge of that cardstock, but that is just okay. Yeah, see, I didn't have room to tilt it, and so that whole straight edge went through. So here we have our back piece. Did it cut on that side? It didn't, so it's all right. I'm going to take my scissors here. Let's go ahead and take this, cut right up through here. And this piece will be done. And you can't see it. I can. There's actually a small groove right where that needed to cut. There we go. A little bit of white right there. Let me get that off. As a matter of fact, where's my brush? Here it is. Here's my brush I use, and it should still up. See? No more white. No more white. Haha, we're good. That was easy peasy. This piece is going to be smaller. We're going to go to the next size down, and I keep looking up to see if I'm in camera, and this time I think I am going to tape that because I cut my piece so close to the size of the die. So I'm hoping you guys have something similar in your stash that you can use for get well cards. Get this one run through. Hopefully this one, not being as big a die, may not fight me as much. Poor little thing. I'm really putting it through its paces. But yeah, I missed you guys. And I always feel bad when something keeps me from doing what I want to do. Because honestly, I would have loved to have had a video ready for you last week. Alright, now, let me get this one. And I'm really trying not to chip my nail polish, so thank goodness for pokey tools. And I'm going to tape it down. Now this one's small enough. Let me see if I can't tilt it a little bit. Let's see if we can't. That'll help it go through so much easier. Okay. Yeah, so when Gina K came out with her small version of the Intracut, it was like, dang it, I had already ordered this. And I like my Hero Arts. I really do. Plus, I have the mini one from Stampin' Up still. It's not going to go anywhere. There we go. There's that piece. What else do I need to die cut? Have I die cut everything? I think I have. I think at this point I have. So, let me get my dies here on here. Scoot that back for safekeeping. My trash put away. And let's get ready to color. So I went through my Prismacolor pencils. These are the colors that we're going to be using. So, in keeping with the Twisted Citron, this one is called Chartreuse. It is PC 989 for those of you who are familiar with Prismacolor. We're going to have Light Aqua, PC 992, and Aquamarine, PC 905. That is for the pillow. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one or not. It's Parrot Green, PC 1006. Not sure I'm going to use that. And then, for the Kleenexes and stuff, I have 10% Cool Gray, PC 1059. Okay. And it's going to be so subtle you may not even be able to see it on camera. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my light color that will match in with the peacock feathers. And I'm going to go ahead and just do my light coloring on the pillow. And this is something I kind of miss doing. I'm so used to wanting to use my Ohuhu markers. And I could have. I could have used them on this, but there we go. Very lightly filling in the color. I'll go back in here in a little bit and put in more color. Now with this one, I'm going to put in my shadows. And your shadows would be where two objects meet or one is laying on top of the other, right? So here we go. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow right in there. Right here where the little panda is resting. Right here where the box of tissues is coming in. Right under here. Yeah, y'all can tell I'm struggling still. And I'm sorry, guys. I know you're not really wanting to hear me struggle. It was either that or go yet another week without having a video for you. Now, I am taking that lighter color and I'm going back in and I'm applying more pressure, okay? Because if I don't, there's going to be an awful lot of the tooth of the paper left. And almost like you would with alcohol markers, I'm kind of blending in the darker with the lighter, where you would have more light. So, you can layer Prismacolors up to a point. Once you burnish, in other words, if you completely fill it in to where there's no tooth left, you cannot keep adding color. And I gotta admit, I am so rusty with my Prismacolors. And speaking of Wendy Cranford, we have a live Zoom later this afternoon. I'm so excited. Can't wait to, I look forward to that. Now, one thing I did not do, and I should have, let me get my Prismacolors. I didn't think this all the way through like I thought I did. Here I was so proud of myself. I thought, ha ha ha, even though I'm sick and I feel like death warmed over, I've really thought this through. So I'm going to take one of these pieces here. I need a little something for his, I'm looking for his little nose. I actually think I like this. This is light peach. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit with his nose. Just a little bit. And maybe right down here, just to differentiate on his. And obviously I didn't think this through. I would have resharpened this. Now that is my bone of contention when I see people using Prismacolor. And they will grab an electric pencil sharpener every time. Don't do that. Guys, these aren't cheap. And the core is real soft. You want to be careful that you never drop them on a hard floor because you can shatter that core. Now the wonderful thing about Prismacolor is that, let me get right his little eyelids here. And then I'll hold it up so you can kind of see. I'll hold that up there. So it's real subtle. In real life, you can tell that the little pads of his feet are filled in, his little eyelids, but it's very, very subtle. Now, this one, that's awfully close. I don't think I want turquoise for his eyes. I want a better blue. Let me find my blues. It needs to be something that will kind of blend in. Over time, as I have used these, I have rearranged my colors depending on what project I was doing at the time. I just want, let's see, this one is Blue Lake. Not bad. Not bad. We're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of blue in there. Again, I will hold this up so you can see it. I don't know what color Panda's eyes are really. Don't care. This is Whimsy. And I can make them any color I want. So now there are his little blue eyes. Okay, are we good? Go ahead and put that one back. Close this up for the minute. It's so big. There we go. Put this over here in my chair next to me so they don't fall and hit the floor. My pick tool did hit the floor. Alright, now I've got my 10% cool gray. And I just want to put just a little bit of shadow. You won't even be able to see this on camera. But just right there where he's holding it and where the artist put the little folds in, just a little bit. Just enough to kind of fill that in. There we go. And that'll give it a little bit of realism. And now let's do the tissue box. And I'm going to use one color, but I'm going to make it dark and light. So I'm putting a little bit of pressure in right here, right back here, and then I'll fill in with a lighter hand so that I have some dimension with my little tissue box. Okay, so there we go. Very simple. If you really wanted, that to be a solid black, you could absolutely do that. I really like that stippled look. I think it is so cute. And again, I can see the pink on his nose and the pink on his feet, but I know you're having a hard time seeing it. That's okay. That's all right. Okay, we've got our background. Here is my card base. We're going to go ahead and start gluing this stuff together. Haven't used my glue in a day or two. Let me see if I need to unclog it. Yeah, kind of do. I have a heat vent right next to my work area. And so our cold snap where we have had some amazingly intensely cold temps. Even, I mean, it gets cold here in the winter, don't get me wrong, here in Tennessee, but not like what we've had this past week. The heat is just non-stop running. Non-stop. All right, let's get this lined up. I did not cut it to cover the whole front. Am I straight? I hope. That could be better. That could be a little better right there. Okay, are we good? No. Boy, it doesn't take long to really kind of get out of practice, does it? Doesn't take long at all. Okay, now I've got that part down. Now we're going to take the peacock feathers panel. Going to lay it in the middle best I can. And I'm looking to see if I'm evenly spaced side to side, top to bottom, and that it is not on there crooked. We hope not. Again, I always have to pick it up and look. I have to. I don't know how not to. Okay. But I'm grateful and I'm thankful. God's been with me this whole journey of illness. And it's getting better every day. I just have to be patient. But man, this stuff, it doesn't leave you anytime quick. It really doesn't. So at night, I was taking some cough syrup. I was taking that, I think it was Mucinex DM. It was something that we already had here. And I thought, well, I need some relief, right? So that I can get some relief and get some sleep. It's nice when you're comatose. Then you're not aware of how miserable you are. Plus, it gives your body a chance to heal. Or try to. Oh, and I'll tell you something else that really blew me away. So y'all know, if you've been here with me any length of time, there it is. You know that I am big on natural remedies. And so my go-to was to take colloidal silver and olive leaf extract, the liquid form, right? I did for the first 2 days consistently. Like, I was very careful to know about when I needed to dose again. The colloidal silver is mostly antibacterial. However, it does have some antiviral to it, to some degree. The olive leaf is highly antiviral, and it does have a little bit of antibacterial to it as well, so they kind of overlap each other. 2 days I did this, several doses per day. It didn't faze it. It didn't touch it. At the end of doing that for 2 days, I'm just going, what is this stuff? Little glue booger. Let's get that off. I have no idea. I have no idea. All right, everything is getting glued down. And it's getting glued down. So that if I mail this, I'm not going to have to pay extra postage. And the same goes with my sentiment. Dang pandemic, isn't that cute? Guys, these are just adorable. I can't wait to use some of the other images in there just so I have them on hand. There was a little girl at church here a while back that broke her arm. Had I had this set then, that would have been so cute to have made her a card out of that. All right, I'm looking. I think I need to sketch over to the left a bit. I'm looking at my peacock layer and the length of my banner, which came from an old Stamping Up set, by the way. It was Is it Basic Shape Dies? Something like that. Anyway. Guys, what do you think? What do you think of the colors? Isn't that nice? It's just bright enough to kind of hopefully put a smile in their face, even if they don't have a smile in their heart. Maybe they'll appreciate you thinking of them. Not a whole lot of coloring. Kept it really simple. Poor little thing's got his little blue eyes and his little pink nose. So it could be a boy or a girl. You know, if you had a die set that had like a small hair bow or something in it, you could always pop a hair bow in it if you wanted to make it decidedly female. But this way here, male, female. You know, the colors don't say one gender or the other, right? Okay, so that was Whimsy Stamps, Panda Get Well. And there are dies that go with it. And let me tell you something else about Whimsy Stamps, and I haven't bought any yet to try them out. I will at some point, and I'll share the results with you. They actually make masks for some of their stamp sets. And I believe there is a set of masks that go with this. So let's say you were doing a scene card, and you had some bamboo trees and things to put around it, and you wanted to ink blend a sky and put in some grass and maybe a tree branch and all that kind of thing. Oh man, I hope that didn't show on the screen. I texted my pastor a while ago. Anyway, he was replying and I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. But yeah, you could use those masks instead of having to fussy cut out a stamped image to make your own mask. And I don't know of any other company that's even thought to do that, right? Okay, so the Distress Oxide inks, everything I will link to below. Again, that stencil is called Amanda from Honeybee Stamps. And there were only 2 left. And by the time you're seeing this, it may be totally gone. I believe they wanted $7.99 for it. There is also a matching hot foil plate. Not sure how much that was. It was also on sale. But most of us have something that we can use for a background for a card like this. And Honeybee doesn't have the only leaf stencils out there. I think Gina K even has some. All right, guys, y'all be blessed. Enjoy your weekend. My prayers have been going out for everyone, that you're healthy, that you're safe. And just always remember that you are loved. God is good all the time. And hopefully, Lord willing, I'll be here again next Friday. Bye, guys.